Okay guys, I have switched over to my account to show you how a Twitter chat works. So at 8 o'clock on Wednesday, you will want to log into your Twitter account, and in the search bar, you will want to search hashtag PALibchat. And typically the first thing that we do is we will introduce yourself, but just note that myself and Lauren Strohecker will moderate everything. So make sure you're following us so that you can see the tweets that we post out. But I want to show you a Twitter chat that happened yesterday just so that you understand the flow of how a Twitter chat works. So here we go. So typically, this is Eric and he's posting about Safe Schools Chat, and this is something we'll do. We'll post out reminders. And you can see some people are introducing themselves. So Eric's saying question 1's coming out, and then he posts the question. And he does it with a Q1 and then the question. So, and then the hashtag, and he has to make sure that he puts the hashtag, otherwise the only people that would see that would be his followers. And then people will start responding with A1. So Jim has said that a lockdown is a facility, and lockdown holds everyone in place or restricts movement severely. Hashtag Safe Schools Chat, and he has to make sure that it's under 140 characters. And so you can start looking through the results. And then we'll probably get up here and we'll see that Eric's participating, saying yes, and then he posts question 2 with Q2. What are some best practices for implementing a lockdown? Here's an example of someone who actually retweeted Eric's first tweet and then put her answer rather than putting the A1. We're going to try and do the Q1, A1 response. So A stands for answer, Q stands for question, just so that people have an easier way of following along, just like this. You can certainly quote the tweet like she did. Just make sure that you put the A1 so we know which one you're talking about, and that way we can follow along. And then he will eventually, so he said question 3 is coming up. Here we go. Here's question 3. And we're going to put pictures too. That way it's just easy to identify the question. And you can see some people have favorited it just so that they can easily go back and find it. And so let's say that you had something you wanted to say about this. You would just go up to tweet. And by default, if you're viewing that results, it will have the hashtag PALibchat. You will put A1 and then type your answer and then tweet it out. And it doesn't matter if people aren't following you. As long as they're following the hashtag, they'll be able to see your tweet. But I can't stress enough, if somebody's tweeting on the hashtag that you're interested in, hover over them and then follow that person. So I'm already following Eric, but I'm sure that there's some people on here like this. I'm not following her. And if I was interested in the things that she was saying, I could go ahead and follow her. And simple as that. So I'm just going to show you really quick. Lastly, what's on our PALibchat right now. It's just a couple of tweets that I have done. So here's the example that Chad posted. And so maybe I want to retweet this out to my followers. I'm not going to post anything. I just want to retweet this out. So Doug posted earlier. He's really excited for this. This is great. But I want to just show you really quick. Texas. So they have a Texas librarians chat, but I just want to show you how active it is even when they're not doing Twitter chats. So this is it's just things that librarians might be interested in. Really, none of these are Q1s or A1s. It's just things that people are posting that they think Texas librarians would like, and they have a very, very active Twitter chat. So this is also someone I would recommend, or a Twitter chat I would recommend participating in, because it is a really, really great Twitter chat. I cannot recall what time theirs is at. And the last question that I just want to answer is that a lot of people ask is, how do you keep track of Twitter chats? How do you know what Twitter chats are out there? And I use a tool called Participate. So it's participate.com, and then you'll see something that says Participate Chats, and you can create an account either with Google or with Twitter. And then there's a calendar here. And in addition to the calendar, it tells you what it's about. So like, who in the world would have ever known what PE, well, I guess that's pretty obvious, but or ASE, what does that stand for? And if you hover over it, it tells you that that is the Association for Science Education, and you can see that just switched to live now because it is 3 p.m. I can add it to my calendar if you want. What's really neat is anything that happened yesterday. So let's go to EduMatch. That's a really great one that Sarah runs to sort of match. You can see right here, connect educators around the world. I can join it or I can view the archive. And so what's really nice here is you can actually participate in a Twitter chat within Participate Learning if you'd like to. It really easily identifies who's the moderators. You can see who's all participating. And what's really cool is if anybody shares an article, a link, or anything, it gets put into this resource list, and then you can add it to, I believe they call them collections that you can add it to. So if I wanted to add this to a collection, and I already have some collections created because I use this a lot, I could add it straight to that. But you can type your message here. The hashtag is already added. But then if you're not quite sure what the questions are, you can just hop on here and they are highlighted for you. And then if you click on them, you can see the responses. They just expand. So this one wasn't a super popular Twitter chat. Some of these didn't get answered at all. And that's tough in the summer. But that's a really easy way to keep track of it too. You can also reply, retweet it, and heart it, rate, favorite it, rate in, participate. So that's a really, really good resource to use. So the last thing I want to mention is when you are putting a tweet and you want to tag somebody, if you start with the tag, they will see it. And only the people that follow both of you will see it. Where if you put a period in front of it and tag that person, everybody that follows you will see it. They don't have to follow the other person that you're tagging. So you can either do, some people, they'll just put a little period in front of it and say something. Hey, Mackley, hope you had a good first day. Where if I wouldn't put that period and I would just tweet that out, the only people that would see that would be the ones that followed both Allison and myself. Last really important thing is to just make sure that you are using the hashtag in everything that you tweet out. Just hashtag PALibchat, and that way, if people are following it, you will see the stream. The last thing that I want to point out is a tool called TweetDeck. TweetDeck is connected with Twitter, and what's really, really nice is if you want to follow multiple hashtags at the same time, you can do that. So I am signed into my account. So here is just my home feed. Here's notifications. I'm actually connected to multiple accounts, so I can see everything that Mac and Via's homepage as well. So let's just add PALibchat. Oh, I'm sorry, I want to add a column. And I'm going to add a search. And I'm going to add the column, and then I can see it over here. So I'm also following a couple hashtags: ebooks, Title Talk, Read YA Lit, TL Chat as well. And then I just add different ones in here if I'm participating in the chat that night. This is really good in case you're participating in multiple chats. It does go by a little bit quicker just because of the space certainly isn't as wide. So it will appear to scroll a lot faster. And by default, you will see all of them, not just the top ones. You can still do a lot of the things that you could do in Twitter. You can click on this to see their profile. You can retweet it. You can favorite it. You can reply. And you can do the quote tweet as well. And if you decide that you don't want to follow that one anymore, you just click on this and then you can remove that whole column. But that if you want to pay attention to multiple things at once, that is another tool that a lot of people use. So, that is Twitter, TweetDeck, and Participate. I really hope that you participate in PALibchat next Wednesday. The 31st is our very, very first chat, and we're going to be talking back to school. So if you guys have any really cool ideas for what you do for staff and student orientation, would love to hear if anybody's using Breakout EDU, any augmented reality, scavenger hunts, things like that, what you do when you first meet your students. I think it'll be a great way to share some ideas and then hopefully get people connected. So reach out to me if you have any questions. My Twitter handle is @librarianlister, but you can always email me at listerh286@gmail.com. I hope to see you on the chat.